Connection doesn't have to be complicated. These 5 intentional questions at bedtime can create trust, safety, and closeness between you, your kids, and your partner. The Buddhist principle talks about the human being as human beings, and all we want is to be free from suffering. However, what we really want, in addition to that, to really thrive, not just survive, is human connection. That's what we want. And despite AI and all the tech, we're getting more disconnected. Come the end of day, busy jobs, to-do lists, house stuff, kids, school, after clubs, we're getting more disconnected. So these 5 questions I've got for you today in this video will help you to really connect, to really see each other and hear each other and bring that connection together again as a family. So let's get started. Welcome back to these teaching videos here on A Spiritual Life, where I teach you, the parent, mindfulness tools to help you then teach and mirror them to your kids and your partner to help you live more consciously and connected as a family. If you're new here, my name's Carrie. I'm a mindfulness teacher, a home educating mum of 2 on a non-religious spiritual path. You're very welcome here. Okay, let's start and talk about bringing that family connection back again. So connection, like I said in the intro, connection can be difficult. It can be because of the busy world, because of tech, and bedtime particularly can be rife. But also, if you didn't get that connection as a kid, it's something that you might struggle with as an adult as well. And then you might struggle to get connection with your own kids. So we need to break that cycle and really come together as a family. So this isn't just about you and the kids. This is about you, your partner, and the kids, the whole family. So what if there was a way to intentionally, mindfully, really connect with each other, to really see and hear each other? Because that's all we want. All we want is to be seen and heard. Because if you come across that in your life, you know, your boss, your partner, your kids, not listening, not hearing me, you know, you try and get your point across, but you feel like they're just knocking you down. Because to be honest, listening skills are really down there at the minute. We don't listen. We listen to talk. We listen to say the next thing. So to really be seen and heard, what does that feel like? And what does it feel like to give it as well? So I'm going to talk about these 5 questions, and I'm going to talk about how they came into our world. And then we can talk about how it can help you and how you can make your own as well. Because you can have mine, you can have these, they're all for you, but you might want to make your own as well. So let's get started with number 1. What have you done today that's kind? So this one came about because we saw, we were walking through town once and we saw a homeless person. And so we talked about that, you know, my kids were like, why is that man on the street, mummy? Why are people giving them money? Blah, 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 blah. And so I explained it all to them. And then when we passed on the way back to the car, we made sure to grab a sandwich or whatever it was a while ago now, and a couple of quid as well to give to them. And so we had a talk about it, and it opened up this conversation. And we also talked about it on the night too with hubby. And so it was about this kindness, and we've had, you know, kindness books that we read to them as well. So they're obviously aware of it. And it was a value of ours to have kindness. We look after animals, we look after each other, we look after, you know, we try our best to be kind in the world. So that was why that one came in. And we think it's a very valuable thing to have, is to be kind. However, What if you've been at home all day, not really done much, and you struggle to answer that question? So you can also say, what have you received? What act of kindness have you received today? And what did that feel like? And that can be another question. So if you can't answer what have you done today that's kind, what have you received that's kind, and have a conversation about that. And you can, how did it feel like, and because when we and our kids and our partner realize what it's like to feel it, we'll be more inclined to give it. Because when we're giving kindness, we also get something back. We get that feeling of giving back. It's not just about giving. And I think we've really forgotten what kindness is and how it feels. And we've gone into this, because I raised my hand up to this, we've gone into this zone of, I'm always giving. It like a resentment around giving now. And I feel like we need to rein that back in again to what it really feels like to give. And it feels nice, it feels light, it feels expansive, it makes you smile, it gives you a glow up in your heart center. It's just nice to give and to be kind. So I feel like we need to bring that back. And I'll tell you how my kids work with that at the end, like the results we've got from these questions. So we'll move on to number 2. Number 2 is, what have you done today that you are proud of? Now, the story behind this one is when we're more mindful and conscious as parents, we want to maybe be a different parent to what we had as parents. Or we want to give our children different beliefs and mindsets than what we have now, that have now become limited beliefs to us, if you know what I mean. So for us, for me and my hubby, we have this limiting belief that what we do is not good enough. So I've worked on who I am is good enough. I am enough. That's a big one for a lot of people. I am not enough. That feeling. So I've worked a lot on that. But what I do is not good enough. And when me and hubby talked about this, he feels the same too. So we were like, what can we do to encourage our kids not to feel like that, and to encourage our kids to not look for external validation and find it within themselves? So that became a question. What have you done today that you are proud of? What have you done today that you are proud of? Not what have you done today that teacher or parents or grannies or whatever have said is good. What have you done today that give you, again, that glow up feeling of, yeah, I've done really well. What one thing was really difficult on that to-do list as the parent that you managed to do and you got around to doing. One thing I mentioned on some of mine is driving. I've sold my car. I'm now driving hubby's van, and that's a big achievement. That for me, that's something to be proud of. So it can be just little wins, really. Something that you found scary or you were in fear of, and you managed to do and conquer and achieve, and you were finally confident about it. That's a massive thing. And it doesn't matter what other people think of that proud. It's what matters to you. And the fact is, with all this, is you ask these questions and you really listen to each other, and acknowledge what it feels like for that person. So what have you done today that you're proud of? And again, if you've done nothing particularly that you've not been proud of, that's fine. So number 3, what are you thankful for today? So this one came about because we all now do gratitude diaries, gratitude practices, 10 gratitudes for the day. And as much as I agree with that and think it's great to have a gratitude practice, I did try to do the 10 gratitudes and it felt monotonous and fake because I was struggling to find them. Not to say that I'm not grateful for at least 10 things, but to find different ones every time so it felt authentic was a bit of a challenge for me. And so it became not really authentic for me. So I wanted to do something else. So I made it one, which sounds silly, you know. You can't think of 10, you're going to get one, but and one is that going to do anything? But it does, because I mean, if you can list more, it doesn't have to be one. But what are you thankful for today? And you start looking for them in the day as well. And so you can, again, like the kind, you really get that sense of gratitude when you are receiving it. And you really acknowledge in your family particularly as well, when you're thankful for something they've done. And it's lovely to see your kids honour each other when they really get going with this, and it becomes a regular thing. I'm going to talk a bit more about that in the at the end. So yeah, what are you thankful for today? Number 4, what mistakes, if any, have you made today that you can learn from? What mistakes, if any, have you learned today have you made today that you can learn from? So again, this came about because fear of failure is massive, and particularly, I'm not going to get, you know, I've said in the intro, I'm a home educator mum, and I'm not going to get into the whole school and all that. But at school, I will say from my experience that you are compared a lot, and you might feel that you have a lot of this fear of failure can stem from school, is basically what I'm saying. So, but I was also finding it in my kids that aren't in school, which is why I said it's not a separate thing. But my experience, fear of failure, definitely came from school, because you're compared all the time, you're graded all the time, and that comparisonitis. But I was also finding it in my kids that are home educated. We'll play games, and they really had these meltdowns at the end of the game if they lost, that kind of thing. And it's a way of, so we as parents were like, how can we not have that? Because again, fear of failure, we kind of both had it. That whole, what you do is not good enough, it all links, right? So these limiting beliefs, these questions can really help you get rid of these limiting beliefs. So whatever you have gone through as a couple, as an individual parent, ways in which you can to encourage your kids not to go down the same path, basically. So to teach kids that mistakes are good, it's a learning, it's a lesson, and it's a way to learn. It's not about failing, it's a lesson learned. So what mistake have you done today that you've learned from, and turn it into a positive? It's not a failure, so there's nothing to be fearful of if you make a mistake, and therefore it doesn't spiral into this fear of failure and get caught up in that what you do isn't good enough. So that's number 4. What mistakes, if any, have you made today that you can learn from? And number 5 is, what have you liked or loved about each other today? So this is a new one I've put in. We haven't actually started this one. I just was thinking about it. And I'll tell you why this one came about, even though we haven't started it yet. So my eldest, we think is undiagnosed ADHD and autistic. And sometimes it's really hard when you're in the thick of parenting to find the glimmers, as they say. And it becomes quite heavy and quite isolating sometimes, and quite challenging. And I think we need to turn it around. And you'll see, if you start doing these questions, you'll see your focus goes to them in the day. Oh, there's my kind for today. There's my lesson learned for today. There's my proud. You'll start to see it in the day. It really does work. You really, really need to check it out. But So the reason I brought this in about what have you liked or loved about each other, especially if you're home educating, especially, this will go out beginning of August, so it's still sort of school holidays for us in the UK. And so when you're more around each other more, you can rile each other up the wrong way. That's nature. That's kind of expected. So, but what can you love or like about that person in the day? Find the glimmers. Find even the little, there she goes again, making a joke or doing a funny face or, you know, being cute and hugging her sister, whatever it is for you. But even just that little glimmer of what have you liked about each other. I liked how you played together today. I loved it when you came up and gave me a hug. These kind of things. So like I say, I haven't started that yet. So that was just an extra. But I have also got another extra. So I've actually got 6. So number 6 is, and again, you can play around with these. So I'm saying at bedtime, but you could do them at tea time as well. And this is another one. Again, we haven't done, we normally do the first 4. But number 6, extra one, is what fun can we have today? So again, if you're home with the kids all the time, you're home educating, or if it's school holidays, what fun can we have today? As parents, do we really have fun? Why not? Let's play a bit more. Let's have our kids teach us how to play and remember play and remember fun. I got some roller boots out of a charity shop a while ago, and the kids had their little skates to go to a roller disco. It was fab. I used to love doing that when I was a kid. I used to skate around outside our front and do dances on them. It was brilliant. Fast forward, oh God, I don't even know how many years, 30 odd years. And I went on these roller boots and I was wobbly and I did nearly fall over a few times, but I didn't. I was like, I've still got it. Like, I can do this. And I had such a good time, and it was with the kids, so we connected and everything. Hubby didn't get any, he didn't go on, but yeah, it's just something. So maybe at the beginning of the day, at breakfast, you could do some of these questions, whichever works for you. And one of them would be, what fun can we have today? So that's your little extra, number 6. Okay, so based on our family values, these questions are based on our family values. So we've got kind, thankful, proud, mistakes. So they're our usual ones. And then what do you love about each other? And what fun can you have today? So they're based around our family values. So my first tip to you would be, go with those if you want to and start getting them in, if they resonate with you, start getting them into a routine. All of you need to answer these questions, dads as well, to really get that closeness. But if they don't resonate with you, find your own family values. That's first thing to do. Get your own family values. Sit down again over the table, whatever, and just ask yourselves, how do we want to live our lives as a family? What do we want to bring into our lives? What do we want to live by? Integrity, kindness, compassion, anything really. So what one word is as your value do you want to bring in? And then base some questions around it. Or what, like I said, what lessons have you learned from a child to an adult that you wish someone had helped you with, because now it's become a limiting belief? So what limiting beliefs have you got as parents that you want to encourage your kids don't have? And just a way to move that away from your children too. So yeah, the whole family does this. No one is left out. Dads can't take a backseat on this. If it's at tea time, if dads are home, however your family is for tea, you can do it at tea time or bedtime. But ideally the whole family's there, because we need to really see and hear each other, and it's a really good lesson for our kids to listen. It's a good listening tool. We just did one tonight, and someone had said something, and like one of the kids had said something, and the other one had said, "Oh, they haven't said anything." We're like, "They just did. They said that. You're obviously not listening." So again, really try, like I said, with the gratitude diaries and journals, the 10 gratitudes that people do, try not to make this into another to-do list. Try and get into the frame of mind that it's a way to see and hear each other. It's a way to have some active listening skills, and it's a way to really connect, because it does. So going on to our results of doing this, the girls look for them in the day. We all do, but I can see the girls doing it. And they'll do something that, this is my kind for today, or this is my proud, and they'll come and show me something, or something they've got over, a fear they've got over, or something like that. It's really getting into them now. We've been doing this for a good few months now, maybe 6 months or so. So it's really getting in there, and it's giving them some good values in life as well, and it's shared. So and the mistakes is good. It's good for the kids to hear the adults have mistakes and know that it's all right. And it could be a mistake you've had with each other. You know, you could say, we've done this, where the kids have said, "No, I haven't got a mistake." And you're like, "Are you sure? What about that thing that happened earlier?" And see if they can come up with it. But that gives you an opportunity then to talk about it in a way that's not so raw, you know, in the moment. You've taken some time away and done it at the end. They also see it in other kids. So my youngest, she was like, "Oh, my friend, let's say Jane has done a kind. She did this," and I was like, "Oh, that's so nice," because they're actually seeing it in other people, which is really good. So I ask you to try it out for yourself. Try these questions, or change them up to your own. Learn your own family values to base them on, and give it a week. Give it a week, and then see if your kids are looking for it in the day. And let me know in the comments how it works for you and what you're seeing. And from the adult perspective as well as the kids, let me know. I really want to see how this works, because this has been a game changer for me and our family. And it really has helped to bring Dad in as well to the family, and share and be vulnerable and have emotional intelligence around situations, like real life situations, whether you're together seeing it as a family, or you're not, something's happened when you've not been together for the day and you've come together and you've talked about it. So I really can't wait to hear how you get on with some of these. Do give them a try. So that's what I've got for you. Much love. Bye for now.